Welcome, guys and gals, back to Financial Guru, the one-stop shop for finance. Yes, we're going to talk about Costco today. An insider has come out and told us all, the CFO, Richard, that a recession is coming, and every market indicator at Costco stores sees an unprecedented change that has come over consumers in the last few months, which is causing fear and panic, although the stock market price doesn't show that right now. This is absolutely shocking news that you need to stay tuned to find out, and I will give you my recommendations on what you should do. And so I look at a little bit of a stock analysis on Costco. Stay tuned here at Financial Guru. We get all your finance news. Remember to like and subscribe if you love this video. Back to it, Costco. What is happening in Costco right now that you should be worried about? And maybe it's time to sell. Not financial advice. Yes, the Costco CFO has just come out and said that some of his products have shown indicators of a possible recession is coming. And this is what he said. Costco shoppers were less often choosing beef or steak from their store meat department in relative months. And the trend of a recession is coming. No way. You've heard it all before on numerous channels, and it's never come to recession. A recession is not coming. I'm telling you, a recession is coming, baby. And it's going to fall hard when you least expect it. When everyone thinks it's all rosy, that's when time to go, sell. No, I'm not, Kramer. But back to what's actually happening here. If you look at Foot Locker, Disney, Target, the list goes on and on and on. As companies starting to report bad earnings, this is when you've got to start to realize, Costco as well, that the price matters and that recession is coming, and retail is where the recession starts. It's not where it ends, but you can tell it's coming. When every retail store starts losing money, you realize that there is a big problem. Is the recession coming? That's for you to decide. But let's have a look. Also, there's a bit of controversy on Biden changing the rules of what's actually a recession, because technically you probably would be in a recession now if he didn't change the rules. But basically he also said that Costco at the moment, only the necessities were getting brought. So all the expensive meats are not getting, and products are not getting brought. And they're starting to even look at buying canned food instead of the fresh produce. So that's obviously another sign when people are buying canned food, that they're looking for the cheaper option, which is also why a lot of buying their own brand Kirkland's has been going up a little late, instead of their more expensive products in store. Also, what Costco had said in the past, earlier in the year, that buy was only a necessity, that electronics were not getting sold, but everything else was going fine. Now we're seeing food get infected. The staples of the industry are starting to get the cuts. And less profitability for Costco is going to be less profitability eventually on their stock price. From what I'm hearing from the CFO, is saying that what is up next for Costco. I think one of the biggest worries next for Costco is maybe the membership. Will people stop thinking of spending their money at Costco, because they're technically, even though it's a one-stop shop, which is good convenience, people like convenience, it's definitely true. But when money starts really hurting in your pocket and the financial crush comes in, whether you're a kid, whether you're providing for your kids, a partner, parents, or even yourself, when money gets tight, the more lavish, expensive things go first. And if they don't, then you're going into bankruptcy. That's one way to put it. But when people are not buying the juicy steaks, the lamb, the pork bellies, it all goes by the wayside. you're looking for more valued products that you can make stews, soups, stir fries, etc. out of them to make the food go much longer for your family. Um, so I'm expecting like food, like canned food and mints and that, to really start cramping up the next quarter or two. If that continues, then look out, the recession may be here. Costco also has had a recent dip in its transactions over the last quarter, with 4.2% worldwide and 3.25% in the US alone. It's seen people go away from their more expensive items like the home furnishing and electronics after 2 years of absolute bonanza great growth. So what is happening there? Obviously, you cannot rely on the last 2 years of where a company should be now. I think a lot of companies are going to drop in revenue, and which we've seen, and that's why we've seen a big cut cost and pricing. But that doesn't mean that the company is bad. It just means they're just not, obviously not going to do as good as when everyone was staying at home and they could only go to certain places, and Costco was one place you could go to. But is Costco overvalued right now? With the recent rise in stock after bad earnings, let's have a look at the grams calculator on Trade Brains. If you want to check it out, no sponsorship, just giving them a free plug. It's just something that I've started to use over time, just to give you an idea of intrinsic value. It's not exactly perfect, but it gives you an idea of what a possible intrinsic value of a company is, and then you can do more research to find out more, not financial advice. Let's have a look at the Costco share price at the moment. Say it's around $510. We'll just go for this example. The earnings per share is over 14, about 14.45. And we're going to look at an expected growth rate of 5%. We're putting this all into the calculator, and the current bond yield is about 4.22%, which gives us a current intrinsic value of $278.70. You're kidding me? Costco's over 500. And roughly a 45% overvaluation. If you jump that up to 10% revenue growth, then you're looking at a more respectable $429.40, but still overvalued, but only overvalued by $90, so it's not so bad. But if we go to 15% growth for the rest of life, then you could see that it's a little undervalued at about 15%. But at about 600. But is it really? Well, not 600 or 580, whatever. But basically, it just gives you an idea of where the prices are at, just with that little metric there. But for you, the folks at home, what do I feel about? I think it's very dangerous to buy the stock right now. I have a funny feeling it's been flying to the moon for such a long time, the last couple of years, that it might be about to derail, even though we've had impressive earnings the last, 3 or 4 years, last 4 or 5 years. I've got a concern Costco is now on its way to plateau. Maybe not long term, but short term. Maybe it's crash and burn, and maybe if you have a bit of money in Costco, it's time to sell out at some profits if you got some, because I think you could be in for a bit of doomsday coming up shortly. Because if you believe in the numbers, then a recession is coming shortly, and then you will see the stock price plummet if that happens. Especially if the next quarter is just as bad as the last, and we continue to get worse and worse guidance. Let's just have a look at a bit of the Costco's other metrics here to see what's happening. Is it actually still a good, profitable company? The current dividend yields at $4.08, and that's the current dividend. The dividend yield is less than 1% at 0.8. The payout ratio is very good at 26%, so they can afford to pay this dividend all day long at this stage. 8 years of dividend consistent growth, which is good to hear. In the last 5 years, it's gone up 12.4%, which is not bad. Let's delve into some more financials here and see if the Rona effect is going to negatively affect the future growth of this company. I expect the revenues for the end of this quarter, for their financial year, could possibly be flat, if not negative, on what they did last year. and just because of the lack of sales. This wouldn't surprise me at all if they're less than 2022, even though they're predicting to be just above it. We'll see. Um, Obviously, if you look at the stock's net income, has been very impressive since 2018 at around 3 billion. And it's skyrocketed to 6 billion predicted for the end of this year. There's no guarantee it might drop a little bit, I believe. Costco shares outstanding has been pretty much flatline for the last few years. Not really doing much. There's nothing fantastic about that. You wouldn't want to be buying a stock on that. Total assets 66 billion versus total liabilities of 44 billion. And the free cash flow is another one that's been a bit concerning, at now 3.8 billion compared to 6 billion in 2019. So they have obviously been ramping up a few things I think is causing this. Obviously ramping up of buying into more stores and expansion, as well as the cost we had with shipping, which would have really hit in a big time, even though they've done well in sales, but there was still a bit in the shipping container cost that would have affected the company worldwide and transporting to place. So yeah, that's just some of the things. So there, if you look at Costco just from financials, it has been fantastic. But I have a funny feeling there's going to be a little bit of a headwind, and it could go the other way and go downwards the next year or so. So I looked at the grams calculator and went, let's do an earnings per share just to be a bit more conservative at $10. And I was still going to say expect to grow for $10. That might be a little bit higher, but I'm just giving that as just a knee-jerk action to see where the stock price needs to be. And at that price, it needs to be below 300 before you even consider buying it. So to me, it looks well overvalued currently. I'm not saying it. It could be fair value, but it's definitely not undervalued. It's overvalued for mine. I see some headwinds coming, and I think the possible recession coming, the stock price could drop in half. And if it does, that's the time to buy. Absolutely, if it does that, time to buy, kids. Very good, not financial advice. If the membership could drop, and obviously the less spending at the stores, which will see a hit in the profit stakes, and then that's when the circle could go downwards for Costco, as it's gone for a lot of the companies of late. Yes, so to me, yes, Costco for me is not a buy at the moment. I would not recommend even looking at doing some more research to buy it. I think it's way overvalued. If you're in the stock, I would either trim it, or if you're very much a buy and hold, you just leave it and don't even put any more in until it drops big time. I don't know if it will drop big time, but I predict it would go under $4 at some point. And if you're very lucky, it goes to 300, then really start buying in. But to me, it's just too overvalued. I think there's better profit margins out there at the moment to buy into other stocks. But yes, if a recession is coming, you've got to get yourself ready for it and expect that your stocks might drop again, just like in the Rona time. So, but that's me, and I've given you a little bit about Costco, just about what's happening there at the moment currently, and what just a little bit of stock analysis on to see what you think Costco could possibly do in the future. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel to share finance video all around the world. And I'll be back with another video in the near future. Have a great day out there.